Hi, this is Michael Carbajal, and you're watching True School Sports. Take care. Good day.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, you know what? Today in this video, we're going to raise our hands here. We're going to raise our hands, and we're going to put some respect on a fighter's name that maybe we haven't been respecting because maybe we didn't quite understand him. And that fighter is Ryan Garcia. So shout out to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia wants all the smoke. He wants all the mother-loving smoke. He wants to smoke with Devin Haney. He wants to fight Devin Haney. He wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. I won't even go as far as to say he's on these guys' ass. He's chasing these guys. Straight up, he's chasing them. Now, Ryan Garcia, back in, was it November? I thought it was November. He did an interview on DAZN, and he spoke about how he wants to fight Devin Haney, and he said that, listen, I wouldn't mind fighting Devin Haney. I think he said that he's down to fight Devin Haney in 2021. Now, 2021 is only a year away. These two both have history in the amateurs. I believe Devin Haney beat Ryan Garcia in the amateurs. In fact, Devin Haney just posted about this yesterday. He posted about this, and he said the picture was of him and Ryan Garcia in the amateurs after they fought, and the caption said, 2020 King Ryan Garcia. Did you hear my boy is finally ready for some get back? Question mark. So, you know, Ryan Garcia thrown it out there 2 months ago. Devin Haney's talking about it now. So they're drumming up interest for the fight. And the thing is, with those two, they're both on the same network. So it's an easy fight to make. And truthfully speaking, like, look, Ryan Garcia, he's still got some room to grow. I think this year in 2020 will be a pivotal year for him, where he's gonna have to step up. He's gonna have to fight some legitimate fighters. You know, if you look at Ryan Garcia right now, as far as the rankings at 135 go, you know, you have the likes of you know, he's ranked number 2 of the WBA, number 3 by the WBC. He's ranked what is he ranked? Is he ranked by the IBF? He's not ranked by the IBF, and he is not ranked by the he's ranked number 6 by the WBO. So 6 in the WBO, 2 in the WBA, and 3 in the WBC. Now, I think he'll go the WBA route, and he said himself he's going to go the WBA route. And if you look at, like, just the guys around his, you know, where he's ranked in the WBA, you have, like, Jorge Linares, who he's been rumored to fight, which I think he will fight. And I think that's probably a good step up for Ryan Garcia in 2020, because Linares is a good veteran fighter. He's a former world champion, but it is a known fact he's on his way down. You know, he's not too far removed from getting his brains bashed out by what's his name? Pablo Cesar Cano, when he had that failed move up to 140. So he's back down to 135. That should be his first step-up fight. And if he can pass that fight with flying colors, you know, I would like to see him in a big fight in December. And that leads us to what you know, him and Tank Davis. With him and Tank Davis, because he's called out Tank Davis. And he's been very vocal about Tank Davis. And it's no secret that these two have had a lot to say about each other in the past. You know, and even now, Ryan Garcia is talking about how he's already a bigger star than Tank Davis, and he's only been a professional for 4 years. You know, and that this has caused quite a stir with Tank Davis. And he said, and he tweeted back to him recently, and he said, "He been the main event, right? What was his ticket sales? Get back to me with that." All right. So you know, that's what it was. But here's what Ryan Garcia had to say in regards to fighting Tank Davis, and he stated that he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis in December of this year. So he's looking at Gervonta Davis this year. So he's saying, you know, here's what he said, I quote, "I'm just going to shock the world. I'm already the biggest star. I've been a bigger star than Tank Davis. I want to fight Gervonta Davis. I'm pushing for that fight, and I'm trying to get that fight done by December. I want it right away, and I want to have another spectacular performance. Hopefully I get a couple of more, and then I'll fight in December. That'll be the biggest fight in the upcoming years." So listen, Ryan Garcia is making his intentions very known. His next fight is actually going to be against Francisco Fonseca, who is a former Gervonta Davis opponent. So, you know, if he can go on there and look good against him, that'd be a good stand for him, because Fonseca is a step up. He's been in there with some decent opposition. So I'm looking at Fonseca, maybe Linares, and then, you know, Tank Davis. To me, that would be the ideal year for Ryan Garcia. But I like what he's doing. You know, this kid is showing his statement of intent. He's sticking his flag on the ground, and he's saying, look, I'm not there yet, but this is what I want to do this year. And, you know, to be fair, if we're talking about social media numbers, I mean, listen, if we're talking about social media numbers, ain't none of these dudes fucking Ryan Garcia. This guy's got the social media game on lock. Truthfully speaking, you know, in the ring, he hasn't really done, like, he hasn't done more to warrant the attention he's getting as far as his in-the-ring exploits, but it comes down to marketability, the social media generation, and he's matched that like nobody has in boxing. 4.4 million followers, arguably the biggest star he might be the biggest American star active fighter as far as on social media, and he hasn't even had a big fight yet. So imagine when he does have a big fight, because he's been able to actually not just have followers, but he's turned the followers into supporters and fans. People that go out, support him, buy his tickets, buy his merch. You know, he's kind of got that Oscar de la Hoya effect where, you know, the women love him and they go to his fights. So, you know, that's a big plus for him. That's a big plus for him. He's got that Oscar de la Hoya effect going for him. Now he has to put it together in the ring, and 2020 will be a pivotal year for him. But I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing, and I'm gonna put it to you guys like this. I think the Devin Haney fight will happen one day, because while they both have this thing to them where, you know, obviously they had a competitive spirit. With those two, I think it comes from a respectful place, because they were in the ring as amateurs and they seem to have that respect for each other. And I think that will happen in 2021, because they're both on the zone as well. There's no network issues or promotional issues, because being in they're with the zone, and, you know, that's an easy fight to make. Even though Ryan's with Golden Boy and Eddie's with Matchroom, it's an easy fight to make because of the fact that they're both on the same television network and they could hash things out. Where the big problem lies is the fact that Gervonta Davis is firmly entrenched in the Gervonta Davis Witness Protection Program, and his promoter, you know, Leonard Ellaby, has already been on record saying that, look, we're not going to fight on the zone. We're not going to fight on ESPN. So basically, Leonard Ellaby is already ruling out. He's ruling out straight away, right off the bat, that he is not going to fight Teofimo Lopez. He's not fighting Tevin Farmer. But that also means that he's not fighting Tank Davis, or that he's not fighting Ryan Garcia. So if Ryan Garcia, you know, wins the fight against Fonseca, has another step-up fight and wins again, and he calls for that fight in December, and it doesn't happen, it is because of Leonard Ellaby. It is because of Gervonta Davis. It's because they want no smoke. And to be honest with you, I don't know, man. After what I just saw in his last fight with Gamboa, and you see the horrible habits that Tank Davis has inside the ring. You know, he's becoming, on a fight-by-fight basis, a lot more Adrian Broner-esque. And I'm starting to think that Ryan Garcia might beat him. Ryan Garcia might beat him. He might iron him out and fold him up like a blue steel chair in 2020. So, you know, he's chasing these guys. He's talking that talk. He's going to attempt to walk the walk starting February 14th in Anaheim at the Honda Center against Fonseca. We'll see what he does there. I'll be covering here on True School Sports. But look, I'd love to see a Devin Haney fight. I think that'd be a good fight, because, you know, these are two of the young rising stars of American boxing. These two are two exceptionally talented amateurs. I believe both of them will go on to become talented pros and maybe even potential world champions, as long as they continue to progress and put the pieces together in the ring. And you know, at some point in time, you know, I don't know if it's going to be in 2020, 2035, 2024, but at some point in time, Leonard Ellaby, Floyd Mayweather, and Mayweather Promotions, they need to take the training wheels off Gervonta Davis, because, listen, I understand you're trying to manufacture this guy into a pay-per-view star, but you can't manufacture a guy into a pay-per-view star with him fighting bin men, waste men, custodians, janitors. You know, he's got to fight top competition. You know, fights where people say, you know what, I'm not sure that Tank Davis is going to win that fight, because I don't think he has it in him. And if he can win a fight like that and do it in sensational fashion, then what would that say about Tank Davis? That would validate him, and that would make people say, you know what, maybe he was just immature early in his career, and he's not like Adrian Broner, and he is a special fighter, and he is that guy, and he is what Leonard Ellaby says he is. But you can't go around posturing yourself as a killer when you ain't never beat a killer. You ain't never beat a killer, so you can't be a killer yourself. To be a killer, you gotta beat a killer. To be the man, like, what did our main man Ric Flair say back in the WWF back in the day? He said, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And right now, you know, Gervonta Davis is not the man at 135, or, you know, at 135, because he just got to 135, and he looks like he's too damn fat for 135 anyway. And Ryan Garcia isn't the man either. But listen, at least Ryan Garcia, he's gonna take the same. He's gonna take steps to progress and get better as a fighter. Devin Haney taking steps to progress and get better as a fighter. Teofimo Lopez, I mean, he's taking the steps to progress and get better as a fighter. I mean, he went from, in a span of 3 fights, Lopez went from Nakatani to Comey to Lomachenko. And I mean, talk about a massive jump in class from, you know, from one fight here to one fight here. That's a massive jump in class for Teofimo Lopez. And if he somehow beats Vasily Lomachenko, that is the best young fighter in American boxing. And to be quite honest with you, I've always thought he was the best young fighter in American boxing. But if he beats Lomachenko, which I'm going on record right now, I'm saying he's gonna stop that boy. He's gonna stop that boy with a straight right hand. That'll cement it for the time being. That'll cement it that he's the best young fighter in American boxing around those weights, because you got a lot of good young fighters on that weight in American boxing. But yeah, Ryan Garcia is chasing these dudes. It looks like he means business in 2020. And, he's mended his problems with Oscar De La Hoya. He signed a new contract with Golden Boy Promotions. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing how Ryan Garcia develops and progresses. And let's get him into some step-up fights. Hopefully he can win the step-up fights. And then when he wins those step-up fights, let's put some serious pressure. As boxing fans, let's start putting some pressure on Gervonta Davis to get the training wheels and for Leonard Ellaby and Floyd Mayweather to stop holding his hand, and for him to start having to behave like a top elite world-class fighter that they talk like that they say he is. So yeah, that's what it is. Ryan Garcia wants all the smoke. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe, okay? Take the time to subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you can stay tuned to what's going on here on True School Sports, as we got a lot of great things planned for this year. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dang It. So until next time, take care, guys.
This is Denise Estrada, and you're watching True School Sports.
All right, thank you.